with illegitimate guilt and shame. One area many religions have successfully stigmatized is sex. Mormon leaders classify many natural sexual expressions, including solitary, same-sex, and straight premarital activity, as the gravest kinds of sin. They even condemn sexual thoughts, embodying Orwellian thought crime. Virginity is venerated, and non-virgins get compared to used chewing gum. Ex-Mormons have reported religious lessons in which groups are invited to help themselves to a tray of cupcakes, one of which has been openly licked by the teacher. When it's the last one to get picked, the point is made, no one wants spoiled goods. But does this demeaning analogy stand up? In a 2016 paper for the Journal of Sex Research titled "Has Virginity Lost Its Virtue?", Amanda Gesselman and colleagues found that sexually experienced individuals held more appeal as prospective romantic partners. Even inexperienced individuals preferred a degree of experience in their mate. It seems non-virgins are often perceived as bigger cupcakes, not licked ones. Of course, the cupcake analogy is a red herring. Instead of making a moral argument, it just stigmatizes people. Any activity, good or bad, can be stigmatized. Immorality isn't defined by stigma. Murder and theft aren't considered immoral because they're socially unpopular, but because they involve identifiable harm. Without clear evidence of harm, the case against premarital sex fails. Manipulative groups often use analogies to try and short-circuit our thinking. But, just like fact claims, analogies need scrutiny too. Mormon Puritanism isn't only reserved for premarital sex. In a 1982 letter to its presidents and bishops, the Mormon Office of the First Presidency said married couples who were guilty of unnatural, impure, or unholy practices, including oral sex, shouldn't enter the temple before repenting and discontinuing such practices. Other religious leaders have also tried to interfere with marital sex. Muhammad condemned anal sex between married Muslims. Leaders in the Jehovah's Witness organization initially ruled that oral sex within marriage warranted expulsion.
Olha que às vezes é mesmo preciso
Then
anal sex,
rescinded this
pá, olha aí.
rule, conceding these marital intimacies were none of its business,
Just saying.
only to make it an expellable offense again a few years later. Countless people struggle with unwarranted shame and anxiety because of stigmatizing religious doctrines. When people claim you're defective,
The
don't
stress
accept
big,
analogies, don't accept stigma, don't accept charges of sinfulness. All these things can be applied to absolutely any activity. Ask for evidence. If evidence isn't forthcoming, the discussion's over.
Damn.
An area of life where
As per
evidence
evidence,
is available is
source.
discrimination. The unjust, prejudicial treatment of people, especially based on group categorizations. Some discrimination is brazen and unapologetic. Other kinds are more covert. As children, many of us learn to recognize the sly, unspoken subtleties of discrimination. My parents repeatedly terminated my friendships with certain children, but they'd never admit the reason was skin color. Instead, they took refuge in insinuations, labeling my friends unseemly, not respectable, and a bad influence. Of course, children soon learn to
Os
decode
pais nunca
this
fizeram
language.
isso.
When funny
espera, os pais
or
dos meus amigos é
polite
que faziam
children
isso,
are labelled
pois.
a bad influence,
Exatamente.
it doesn't take long to identify the real issue. Some time ago, I was told about a psychological test designed to address more covert forms of discrimination. It was called the Implicit Association Test, or IAT, and its creators claimed it measured unconscious bias. When I took some of these tests online, I could see some huge conceptual problems. When I got my results, I noticed the creators had included a disclaimer stating these weren't definitive assessments. But months later, I was disturbed to discover that the IAT was already being used in workplace diversity training packages. The term unconscious bias has two very distinct usages. One simply refers to observable behavior that lies outside our awareness. For example, a teacher might favor some students over others without realizing it. Here, we can show people evidence of their bias, giving them a chance to understand and address the problem. The second usage refers to bias that lies outside the person's awareness and for which there's no observable evidence. When people don't experience biased thoughts or display biased behavior, Allegations of bias become a matter of faith, leaving people unable to understand or address the supposed problem. The IAT comes under this second usage. The IAT is a reaction time test. It takes a single human characteristic, like skin tone, sexuality, gender, weight, age, and splits it into two categories. For example, age is split into young or old. Subjects have to categorize various images and words as fast as they can using two keys on a keyboard. In some trials, images of young people and good words are assigned to one key,
eu já fiz esse teste uma vez.
and images of old people and bad words to the other. In other trials, young people and bad words are assigned to one key, and old people and good words to the other. Faster reaction times to certain pairings, like old people and good words, are taken as an indicator of unconscious bias in that direction and a predictor of real-world discrimination. Two crucial concepts underpin psychological tests: reliability and validity. Reliability concerns the test's ability to produce consistent results. One type of reliability, called test-retest reliability, looks at whether people who take the test twice show consistent results. The highest reliability score is 1. The lowest is 0. A value of 0.8 or higher shows a good level of reliability. The creators of the IAT have put its test-retest reliability at between 0.5 and 0.6. They've acknowledged this poor reliability risks high rates of error. If our goal is fair treatment, then classifying people as
Planeta
biased
Naftalina.
or as fair-minded when they're not is going in exactly the wrong direction. Validity concerns whether a test measures what it claims to measure. The IAT's creators claim the test measures attitudes, but as researchers have pointed out, even if it measures psychological associations, which is questionable in itself, associations aren't equivalent to personally endorsed attitudes. They might simply reflect an awareness of stereotypes. The creators further claim the test predicts real-world discrimination, but even they admit to an extremely low correlation between the IAT and discriminatory behavior. In 2017, a team of practitioners in psychiatry and emergency medicine reviewed various studies in which the IAT was used to investigate bias among physicians. Of the 9 studies reviewed, 7 found no influence on clinical decision-making. The other 2 showed confounding results. For example, Alexander Green and colleagues found physicians who scored low on race IAT, indicating low bias, showed a big disparity in their treatment decisions. They were far more likely to offer a certain effective coronary disease treatment to black patients than they were to white patients. Meanwhile, high scorers on race IAT, predicted to show pro-white bias, treated both groups roughly equally. A 2012 psychological science paper by Jackie Barawa found that subjects who completed a race IAT behaved cautiously in subsequent intergroup interactions, limiting their self-disclosure and seeming potentially unfriendly or aloof. These kinds of anxieties and conflicts are predictable when people are told they might have psychological flaws without being given any sound evidence. They're left in an overly vigilant state, second-guessing all of their responses. Discrimination is not imaginary. It exists in overt and covert forms. But demonstrably unreliable tests like the IAT, which generate false predictions about discrimination, only serve to muddy the waters. We'll always find people suggesting we're flawed, but in certain areas of life, like therapy, religion, and the workplace, those suggestions can carry undeserved authority. When we're given observable evidence of harmful behavior, then we have something to explore, but not when we're faced with mere stigma and assumptions. There's no reason to entertain imaginary defects.
Xisa, la criatura. Era capaz de já que tinha uma weapon nova. Royalty free. Royalty free copyright. Wait, they're not even looking for me. How am I detected? Tô aqui no bunker. Isto não faz sentido, ou faz? Adoro o planeta Naftalina. E lá! Quase que bati de trunfa. Oi, atravessei uma... quê? Uma nave. Espera, não percebi quem é. Mais uma chip para claimar. Will you claim this piece of ship? Gostaram? Gostaram deste... Why would I leave it alone? I like it. Está cheio de inventory slots. Xiça. Tem mesmo muitos mais slots que o meu. Quantos é que precisa? 13. 13 ou 13? Eu sei que tem Platinum. Well, it's claimed. Como é que é o cockpit? O ouro está todo na outra nave. I would say it's not bad. Peraí, tem aqui uma coisa. Arquivo colossal. Já está a ficar tarde. Ei lá. Hey, what up? Como é que estamos, Watson? Tudo bem? Daqui fala o nosso teletransponder. What the fuck am I talking about? Como é que estás, não? Yes, I will give you one Korvax casing. Should I? He's happy. Is it on the starship? I have no idea what I'm doing. Where's the Carfax casing? Espera, o meu gajo está sempre a magoar, é? Hidráulico qualquer coisa. Estás a curtir o cenário, maninho? Já conseguiste arranjar o sítio? Bagabugu, 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 bagabugu. Bagabugu, bagabugu. Aposto que este Planetary Shard não vai fazer nada. I'm such an idiot. Olha, fazer alguma coisa. Agora tenho um mini Mequito. Tenho um mini Mequito. What's up, bro? E o trabalho, como é que tens estado? Estás quase a bazar, não é? Oi? Diz-me aí um friendship. Friendship é restore. Eu não sei se querem saber este lore neste momento. Cena, nunca vi estas coisas. Mas olha. Mas olha, tu já encontraste a casa? Estou de volta com o filho da puta de um calipo. Então vais ver para a semana, fantástico. Mas é em Braga mesmo ou é longe de Braga? É tipo Felgueiras ou caraças. Barcelona, Dinamarca, Vigo. Canadá. Um subúrbio. Já estou numa zona bué da fixe. Nem foi de propósito, mas está bué da fixe. Tem tudo e é para aí 5 minutos do trabalho. Nem isso, de carro. Não que eu vá para o trabalho, não é? Mas quando vou, é rápido. No outro dia combinaram o almoço e era aqui ao lado. E eu, tá-se bem, maninhos. E saí de casa, fita com eles. Tu não queres invadir? Ninguém quer invadir este espaço. Mano, eu precisava deste calipo, por acaso. Isto é calipo lima-limão, ou caralho. Opa, sempre frio cola, mas... Epá, está calor. Se está calor tens que ir para o top tier. Por acaso não acabamos o Donkey Kongas, portanto. Eu não sei se vou começar o Farming Simulator, não é? Canito. Eu não te vou dar calipo, Canito. Esta bichinha está a ficar cada vez mais amorosa. Isso sim é tipo a única razão para visitar aqui este sítio. Esta espelunca. Como dizem os ingleses, Spelunky. Como é que é, Watson? Estás afim de ver qualquer coisa? Comigo ou nem por isso? E não tenho ideias. Mas teria de ser um youtuber, não é? Um youtuber reviewer. Olha, aquele gajo. Há um gajo. Estava a perguntar se querias ver alguma coisa comigo, nem por isso, mas... E depois estava a dizer, vai ter que ser um youtuber, não é? Depois lembrei-me que há um gajo que eu até curto, mas acho que tu não curtes. Que acho que ele tem um vídeo novo, mas eu caguei. Como é que se chama? O gajo é o Austin e o vídeo é o Metal Gear Survive. Com certeza. Não conheço. Mas não sei o que é de pensar do nome. Ai. Ai que eu estou a começar a comer chancalhadas de gelado. Como dizem os ingleses, chancalhadas of gelado. Ainda tem algumas coisas para encontrar, não é? Caramba, tantos edifícios. Manufacturing facility. Mano, no outro dia estava a olhar para os meus jogos. Não, library. Eu tenho muita coisa para jogar, meu. E estou só a jogar isto. Mas é bom, assim pouco dinheiro, não é? Assim deixo de ter aquela coisa do. Não tenho jogos, é melhor comprar mais e tal. Então se jogar um jogo 1000 horas, fuck yeah, não é? Sempre foi assim com... Olha, Fighting Games. Fighting Games eram o meu melhor amigo, não é? Ai não. Jogar Tekken 5 anos. Se não mais. Acho que foi mais. Foi mais, foi. Enganei-me. Espera aí. É suposto olhar para o edifício e tentar ter uma pista do que é? Porque há umas coisas que eu perco sempre. Enganei-me. Agora tenho um Mequito a trabalhar para mim. Ito. Mas também posso entrar no Mequito. Anda cá, Mequito. Mequito. Ok. People, papo. Time to fuck you up. Problema, o Mequito não tem o seu próprio shield. Se calhar eu posso arranjar, eu é que nunca comprei ou whatever. Qual desses é o super tiro raios laser? Bem, isto é um raios laser. Como é que é o damage disto? Eu acho que estou mining laser do gajo. Ah, eu achei que fodi o Minotauro e agora não tenho a weapon que eu usava antes. Ora boas pessoal, daqui fala Minotarx. Não me procurem, não me procurem. Enganei-os bem. Shifting glyph sensor across the terminals command prompt. Some alien code is taking over the systems. The terminal grants me root access to the facility. Ganhei uma coisa. Multitool expansion slot tem um problema. Já cheguei ao máximo de slots. Ai que eu estou com o meu gelado. Weird flex. Então para a semana andas por aí. Como o tempo passa, meu. Estamos em quê? Hoje é 1 de agosto. Alguns neste mês têm férias. no fim de julho entra agosto. Epá, que ditado. Esse ditado é bastante útil, especialmente para mim. Nunca sei a contajando. The toxicity of our city, of our city. Portanto, hoje é dia 1. Dia 5. Já nem sei. Bubu baga 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 bubu baga. Wow 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 wow. Wow wow wiwa. Meu mecalhaço está aqui, meu. Mas também, peraí. Exocraft. Oh, it's the fucking cannon. Falta-me wiring loom. It's the fucking cannon, bro. Deixa-me apanhar isto, meu. Storm Crystal é cool. Olha, 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 olha. O que foi, cão? Está tudo bem lá fora? Está tudo controlado? Sabes uma coisa, Watson? Eu devia, mas é sacar um Star Trekzito, meu. Já saquei. Já tinha sacado há muito tempo, mas espetei numa pen para ver na TV, meu. Pois é. Hoje já estive a ver. Isso sim, meu. Isso sim é vida. Life support. O que é que se faz aqui? Não se faz não se faz nada. O The Next Generation. Isso é para rever forever, meu. Tenho pena que o pessoal, imagina, já estive a ver, eu não vi, mas já sei como é que é a estrutura dos novos, não tem nada a ver. E é um bocado, como é que eu ia dizer, é um bocado sad, porque se tu tentares falar com pessoas sobre o que é Star Trek, o principal eles vão te dizer tipo, essa coisa, imagina, se falas com alguém que só vê as últimas coisas, é tipo, estão a falar de coisas totalmente diferentes. E é estranho, certo? É de género. Star Trek, aquela coisa cheia de explosões no espaço. Hã? Nunca ouvi falar. Estás a falar de quê? Nunca vi. Analyze Datalog. Ora bem, isto é... Já ficou bebida? Ai não, ainda não está. Espera aí... Andas porra. Já não me lembro se dei de comer ao cão ou não. Oh yeah, baby. recebi nanites. Queres dar hangout? É ir ao café, meu. O café é o... Ai, estou sempre a esquecer do nome, mas é tão funny. É o Malfeitio, é isso. Jogar umas bilharadas no Malfeitio. Nunca joguei, meu. E está aqui à frente, já viste? Onde é que eu vou? Absolutamente. Absolutely, Mr. Watson. Man, estou a sentir calor, meu. Não devia ser calor, devia ser frio. Oh, Mac, vamos dar um saltinho? Poder do Luke é saltar. Planetary settlement. I don't know what they mean. Na verdade eu já tenho um settlement. Podes fazer management a settlements aqui, é giro. Não sei como é que faço para ter mais. Dá para ter mais? Pelo que eu percebo dá para ter mais. Cinco minutos. Nenhum quero dar, meu. I hate women. Estou a brincar, I love women. Women are so gorgeous. They are an inspiration. Women are all. O que é que te aconteceu? Bem, 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 bem. Não me digas que começaste a gostar mais de uma guitarra do que da outra. Tipo, trocou. A twist é que trocou. Faz-me lembrar, devia cortar as unhas, meu, que é para tocar umas guitarradas. Mas foda-se, está tanto calor, não apetece fazer nada, mi. É pá, custa para caralho estar vivo. Isto é treta de estar vivo, estás a ver? Bué da chatini. Oh, eu já estive neste coisa. Ou então é tudo igual neste jogo. Das duas, uma. Pois é. Duzentos e quanto? Ui, era os gunas. Mas ó chaval, ouvi dizer que roubaste uma bola. Roubaste uma bola. Mas em qual delas é que tocas a And Nothing Else Matters? Em qual delas é que tocas a Friend? Toc. Eu acho que não consigo. Eu lembro de estar bué da stuck. Man, estou triste, sabes porquê? Vai haver um dia que eu vou dizer nunca mais jogo No Man's Sky e depois nunca mais vou jogar No Man's Sky. Isso deixa-me triste. Qual é aquela... Quero uma palavra melhor do que triste. Estás a ver aquele pesar que sentes quando sabes que tudo acaba? É tipo isso. E tu dizes, então por que não simplesmente jogar o jogo para sempre? Ao que eu respondo, não é assim que funciona a vida. Ui, está a deployar, oh que caralho. Agora não me deixa ir embora. Um dia vou voltar a vestir a t-shirt de Saint Anger. E vou para olha, vou pegar na t-shirt de Saint Anger e vou para um bar de metal. Acho que não tenho mais nada para ver. Tenho sono. Tenho sono. Nem sei para onde é que está este Pulse Drive. Do Xalá. To be honest, eu devia estar a fazer outra coisa. Que se foda. Que se fuck, maninho, que se fuck. Ui, estou aí para onde queria. Obrigado, jogo. Isto é o de settlement para eu ser overseer? Alguém com quem eu possa falar? Como é que é, meus putos? Tudo bem? Apply for settlement control. Damn, este é o planeta dos settlements. For 3 Corvax convergence cubes. I think I have those. Oh, só posso ter um de cada vez? Ah, man. This game sucks. É, pá, queria tipo 30 settlements. Será que é no mesmo planeta? É uma limitação do mesmo planeta ou será mesmo do jogo? I don't know. Ah não, pois é no mesmo planeta. Yeah. Locate dioxides. Also, I don't care about this, but I do care about this. Onde é que se arranja aí dioxide? Supostamente tem aqui. My lifestyle determines my lifestyle determines my lifestyle. Ui, apareceu um Guna? Não. Ui, quem é este pessoal todo, meu? Ui, está bem porrada. É para salvar um freighter. Babada. Babadabadu. Grabadabaduba. Eu vou fechar a boca, filha da puta. Espera. 8 guys remaining? Eu já tenho a minha weapon nova. Era suposto ter uma weapon nova. Não, ainda só tenho photon cannon e rocket launcher, which is not great. Times 2? What does that mean? Oh no, this is friend. Take that, woke moralists. Oh. Shit. Ooh, I failed. What? I think that was the last guy. Deftados. Thank you. Artemis. Isto é história, o caralho. Nem reparei, meu. Friend is best friend. É o patrão da... Onde é que está a entrada para o patrão? Para o capitão. Está ali. Lifestyle determines my death style. Lifestyle determines my death style. Yeah, yeah. But this is a Gek ship. Captain Uzuikol? That's kinda Russian. Pay me, bitch. Págame, cabrón. Before I go and find the thing, I don't want gold. Скоропотира. Скорочу. Ей. Primeiro vou aqui. Something's happening. What is this? Is this a bug? Cheguei, pessoal. Então isto é o que eu posso fazer, potencialmente. É o que eu planeava fazer nesta stream, mas afinal... There was another. Isto é só carvão. Eu posso lhe dar um gift? Epá, estou cheio de bué da sono, me. The farmer? Oh, I don't have a thing. Nem quero saber, só aceito. Que boa. Mas antes disso quero pôr qualquer coisa. Esta música está-me a deixar balelé. Nós não queremos balelé, pois não. Quem é que quer balelé? Morality? Judeo-Christian tradition. Parece demasiado pesado para 10 da noite.
Metal Gear Survive is controversial. That's the understatement of the century. Konami's incredibly popular Metal Gear franchise has been around since the 80s and has been responsible for some of the most memorable and highly praised video games of all time. Also, a pachinko machine or two. From 1987 to 2015, Konami and famed creator and director Hideo Kojima would make over 20 of these things before an abrupt breakup, a lot of bad blood, a canceled game, and a ton of public outcry. Seriously, if you weren't there, it was wild. But it was in 2018 when the wild card happened. Metal Gear Survive, a brand new game in the Metal Gear series, one produced without Hideo Kojima, seemingly hopping on the zombie trend. One that was nearly universally hated on, with critics throwing it in the 6th zone, user reviews absolutely demolishing the thing, and it ended up on countless worst of 2018 lists across the internet. So, it's been 4 years
6
now.
good?
The dust has settled a little bit, and after going hard on Babylon's Fall, Balan Wonderworld, the entire Avatar franchise, and Kakarot, I decided that this was the next logical step. There's a story here, a really interesting one, involving a fallout between high-profile developers and a video game that's so absurd it's hard to define. Konami defined Survive as a, quote, bold new experience, and well, I won't disagree with them there. And yes, that says recent reviews, mostly positive. So, y'all know me, or you don't? Well, I went in, I beat the game 100% asterisk, not actually 100% because oh my god, no, dove really hard into the multiplayer and well, survived as long as I could. There's something really interesting here, and the fact that the current players on Steam today is still nearly 10 times Babylon's Fall has to mean something.
So yo, it's
Wow.
Austin, and today we're finally deep diving into Metal Gear Survive. Now, I know it took a while, but there's a lot of history here. This was the first game divorced from Kojima. Heck, one of the first major releases from Konami in a time period when they said they were leaving the video game industry to focus on pachinko. It wasn't just a meme. It happened. But before we get started today, if I were stuck in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, I'd definitely be craving a bowl of today's sponsor, Magic Spoon. You know what I like? Cereal. But as an adult and not a growing child, eating cereal is tough. Look, I remember the 90s. My tolerance to sugar, my happiness, it's gone. So here's where Magic Spoon comes into play. You pour yourself a little bowl, splash in a little milk or whatever you like, and bam, you're a child again screaming about anime. Magic Spoon is a delicious and healthy alternative to your old sugar-filled cereals that's not just tasty, but a nice and easy part of any meal. Magic Spoon cereals have 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 to 5 net grams of carbs in each serving. And that's also only 140 calories. So yeah, keto-friendly, soy-free, grain-free, low-carb, and that's the magic part of the spoon. They sent me a variety pack with all the flavors, which is cocoa, peanut butter, frosted, and fruity, and of the 4 I like cocoa the best because, well, it's chocolate. Look, it's just nice to have a healthy option for breakfast when everything's usually so heavy. So if you want to get in on this, and you should because cereal owns, click the link down in the description and try a variety pack with $5 off from me today. Be sure to use the promo code AustinEruption at checkout. That'll get you $5 off any order as well as help the channel out. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that they have a 100% money back guarantee, so if you don't like it, they'll refund you your money, no questions asked. That's magicspoon.com/AustinEruption or clicking the link down in the description to save $5 off your purchase today. Thanks to Magic Spoon for the sponsor. I'm eating good, and now you will too. So, Metal Gear Survive. There's a lot here, so let's start at the beginning.
There's no Metal Gear without Hideo Kojima. Well, that's at least what the gamers say. But I guess that's what happens when your name's attached to a series for nearly 30 years. From the original MSX release of Metal Gear to the controversial Phantom Pain, Kojima has basically been the spokesperson of this entire thing, even if he didn't want to be, saying in 2011 that he wanted the franchise to end, quote, at every step along the way. I mean, when the lead director of your franchise is out there saying he's probably gonna have to make Metal Gear Solid 5 at some point, that dude's ready to move on. His studio, Kojima Productions, was a subsidiary under Konami, and they worked on just about every Metal Gear title, as well as a few things here and there until their closure in 2015. There was a lot of controversy, including stuff I'm not really going to get into here, but TLDR, Konami was planning to get out of the AAA game business, didn't like Kojima going over budget, and things disintegrated into something petty. Konami started removing Hideo's name from everything, they removed PT, aka Silent Hills, from the PlayStation 4, canceled it, then barred him from going to the 2015 Video Game Awards, causing Kiefer Sutherland to have to accept any awards on his behalf. This was, of course, met with boos.
To accept any awards.
A majority of this seems to
Tadinho
be
do
tied
Jeff
directly
Keighley.
to Konami changing its corporate mission statement, which
Our
to this
hero.
day hasn't changed much. Similar things happened with Koji Igarashi in the Castlevania franchise. Konami is like an IP goldmine that they refuse to dig into. With the exception of a few smaller PC games, mobile titles, footballs, Yu-Gi-Ohs, and ROM collections of older things, they're not really doing much these days. Except like Contra Rogue Corps, which yeah, after the fallout with Konami, Kojima Productions teamed up with Sony to make themselves into a fully fledged independent studio, which, as most of us know, led to the creation of Death Stranding. I'm just glad that Kojima got his game with Norman Reedus, the eternally greasy man, even if we had to watch those weird baby trailers. So let's move on to 2016. Metal Gear Solid 5's been out for about a year. It had super good reviews, despite a mixed reception from a small vocal minority. Due to the internet being the internet, people found traces of cut content and conspiracy theoried drama between Koji Pro and Konami, but that's not for this video. This is about the pretty out there announcement that happened at Gamescom 2016. It was mostly normal. You had a new Yu-Gi-Oh!, a new Pro Evolution Soccer, but shocking everyone would be a
então,
Metal
mas
Gear
tudo, meu. Vocês têm calor
Survive. There
também?
were hints that
Peraí,
they were hiring to make a new Metal Gear, but this one looked like it had zombies.
27 graus? Isso
I
não é
think
muito alto.
we as a society are all
Okay.
still reeling from the effects of the late 2000s zombie mania. From Left 4 Dead, The Walking Dead, Zombieland, and World War Z,
Quando é que jogamos
the
jogo de
Living Dead were
zombies?
such a staple of mainstream media culture that fatigue had begun to set in. So when you, and I still can't
Left
believe
4
they
Dead
did
2,
this,
gente.
push out the dude who made your series famous and announce a new game with zombies at the forefront, you're gonna get in trouble. It definitely comes off as creatively bankrupt, even without any knowledge of what the game is. From the first trailer, you see Snake leaving behind a soldier who gets isekai'd through a portal into a world with these corrupted-looking zombies that we'd learn are called Wanderers. The whole shtick was trying to find your way back home, presumably meaning un-isekai'ing yourself and getting back into Metal Gear Solid 5. The small detail I actually liked on the logo was the fact that the second V in Survive was corrupted and similar to Metal Gear Solid 5, which makes more sense when you realize that the game did a lot of smart asset flipping. We'll get more into that later. Famously, Kojima responded to Survive's announcement in a
Kojimbo.
not-so-favorable way. Quote, "The Metal Gear games are about political fiction and espionage. Where do zombies fit in with that?" Which I find hilarious considering Metal Gear has had a shaman, telekinesis, ghosts,
True.
and not to mention an immortal vampire. Or a bisexual with nanomachines.
Mas zombies, pelo amor de Deus, não.
Because he's bisexual.
I'll tell you right now that no, these aren't zombies in the traditional sense, and they are actually something that does fit into the lore of Metal Gear, but we'll touch that later. After this Gamescom trailer, the anti-hype machine began doing its thing, and the internet pretty much condemned everything about this. Which, you know, fair. But I'm a freak, and I like to know as much as I can about something before I toss it into the garbage, so I signed up for the open beta test in 2018. And I kinda liked it. The open beta of Survive was a multiplayer-only thing that showcased the co-op game modes. It was hard to tell what this game was going to be from the early trailers, but that answer ended up being a post-apocalyptic zombie tower defense game. And I don't know about you, but tower defense is like the third best video game genre behind Vampire Survivor and Kart Racers, so I hopped in with a few friends and I was having a pretty good
What
time.
does that mean?
You need to defend a giant crystal while setting up traps and taking care of waves of enemies. It turns out if you put a co-op wave defense game in the Fox engine, easily the best part of Metal Gear 5, you have a recipe for a good time. Did it feel like Metal Gear? Absolutely not. Over the next 2 years, Konami would release trailers showcasing bits and pieces of gameplay before the official release, February 20th, 2018. They actually put it out there at a budget price of $30, I guess kind of knowing its fate. Well, that didn't help. It got pretty middle-of-the-road critical reviews, but was destroyed by fans and YouTubers alike. This thing peaked right away, sold very poorly, dipped in price heavily after the first few weeks, and that was that. I actually bought a PS4 copy of this 2 months later for like $15, but it remained sealed until last month.
This is Metal Gear Survive, the controversial, most recent, and possibly even final game in the series, but I didn't play this version, so be gone. The multiplayer and single-player campaign are both kind of like intertwined here, but we might as well start with the first thing that we end up seeing, which is the story. Wish me luck.
Survive is directly tied into Metal Gear Solid 5 and Ground Zeroes. Shortly after being played like a damn fiddle, you play as a create a character in that situation who died. Nice. Then they somehow take your body and toss it through a wormhole into a world called Dite, or as you're nicely told,
You made it through the gates of hell.
This is a lot for the first 15 minutes of the game, and they don't do a good job at getting you excited or knowing what's going on. After a slight rehash of the Ground Zeroes cutscene with some other elements tossed in, and seeing your character's name appear on a killed in action sheet mere moments into making them, you get sucked from real cutscenes into a static image and endless dialogue. Essentially, during the wormhole opening, your arm gets infected by some type of organism from Dite, and they send you there in order to investigate. You and researcher Good Luck keeps in contact with you, dubs you captain, and guides you towards base camp, a little place outside an alternate version of Mother Base that's destroyed. Kind of ironic that his name's Good Luck considering the ridiculousness of the situation. Here you explore the dangerous zone called the Dust and meet various characters like Reeve, Nicholas, Dan, Miranda, and various Metal Gear stereotypes that don't get any kind of meaningful development, screen time, or like anything really. You know, for a game called Metal Gear, it's sure lacking in a lot of the fun that those games have. Granted, the situation here is pretty dire, but in my entire time playing, there was nothing like Revolver Ocelot twirling his guns for way too long. Survive lacks a lot of charm of the predecessors. There's not even a good moment to do a funny model swap with. In Dite, you find the supposed zombies or wanderers. You're also somehow able to keep contact with the outside world in another dimension, which I'll shrug off because this is a video game. Good Luck introduces you to a robot AI called Virgil, who's got a split personality that guides you along the way. No, not that Virgil.
That's the setup. Find your way home. It's simple and effective. Now, the Metal Gear franchise is famed for having cutting-edge stealth gameplay, all the way from the original in '87 to even spin-offs like Metal Gear Acid. So, does Survive do it? Well, kind of.
Oh, right off the bat, the PC version still says Metal Gear Survive Beta, even in 2022, so take that as you will. Metal Gear Survive's gameplay loop is bizarre. Take everything you know about Metal Gear Solid 5 and the Fox engine, then toss it into a survival game, like Rust or Ark. You need to eat, you need to drink, and manage your oxygen. In Survive, you're going to be spending a whole lot of time micromanaging your health resources while also trying to be stealthy, and this comes off like a weird indie game in comparison to 5. MGS5 gives you the ability to Rambo your way through situations, but Survive has you at first cheesing it out. At the very start, all you have is a dinky little wooden spear and quickly draining hunger and thirst. Surviving is key, so you'll frequently be hunting for water and food sources. A lot of the stuff you'll find is dirty and that can poison you, so you gotta cook or boil it. You can hunt animals with a bow or a machete, but there's nothing quite as effective as punching them in the mouth. Yeah, this is real. You have to poke zombies to death in order to kill them, and you get a resource called Cubon Energy, which is used for most things. Wanderers can drop items, but you'll also be scavenging the environment for things to craft and do other things. You can only make like a bandage at the beginning, but you'll find blueprints that'll give you access to bigger and better things, be it weapons, armor, types of food, buildings, or even C4. After the initial tutorials and cutscenes, which are, to be completely honest, one of the most dreadfully boring experiences in all video games, you're set loose to explore, and you do this like any old open world game. You just pick a direction and go. The world itself is a reskin of the Afghanistan map from 5, and you'll have vague marked locations trying to tell you where to go. However, this is in a zone called the Dust, which doesn't have a tracking GPS and requires you to have an oxygen machine. One that failed to load. Girl, what you doing? In the Dust, you'll find lots of wanderers who can easily kill you, as well as give you injuries that you'll have to bandage up or get debuffs from, like the inability to naturally heal. The first time you go into the Dust, your oxygen depletes quickly, and you can consume Cubon Energy to regen, but it's very expensive. Basically, the entire world wants you to die, and unfortunately, there's no quick save. So if you die, you have to reload your last save, and that might be a while back. It creates this sense of peril while exploring, which was actually relatively fun. Like, you'd be trying to sneak around wanderers and their upgraded versions, trying to find supplies and just make it another day. The very beginning of this game kicks you in the butt if you're not familiar with survival type games, and I can see how that would be off-putting for most people. But for those who are a glutton for punishment, dig in. Not to mention, any weapon or armor that you craft has durability tied to it. So let's say you make yourself a slightly more advanced weapon with just barely enough resources. If you use it too much or you run out of ammo, you probably won't have enough to repair it. That means if you're anything like me, you'll be stuck with the bow and arrow for a while. And not the good arrows, the bad arrows. But that's how you get good at those headshots. Eventually though, if you're feeling the gameplay, you'll get into the swing of it. The story, while kind of boring for a majority of the time, keeps evolving as you explore this horrible gray world, and you begin to slowly beef yourself up and get an understanding of the loop. Suddenly you're gunning down waves of dudes without a care in the world, and you're carrying around so much beef jerky that there's no issue. Besides being over encumbered, that is. It always sucks, and it's probably gonna happen a lot. You've leveled up to have bigger combos, maybe you've gone and crafted yourself a fire baseball bat. Maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome, but I was kind of having fun. Is that illegal? Then boom, the servers went down, forced to disconnect, because yes, Survive is online only.
Playing the single player for so long actually made me kind of forget that the game was co-op, but not in the way that you thought it was gonna be, because like, if you look at those early trailers, you see 4 people running around in the world stabbing zombies and everything, but the actual game itself is quite different.
Earlier I said the multiplayer is separate but intertwined with the single player campaign, and here's what I meant. You actually unlock it pretty early, but I don't recommend going in for a while because, well, you're gonna be useless. Metal Gear Survive shares character progress between the two modes, which means level, gear, and your blueprints. If you hop in right away, you'll be running around with a spear and a bow, which isn't gonna be helpful for your party. There's 2 types of modes here, rescue missions, and the aforementioned tower defense mode, Salvage. In Salvage, you have a singularity digger in the center of the map with enemies coming to you in waves dictated by road lines. You'll want to use your previously gotten resources to craft traps and structures to block the way and try to defend the point with your friends. You can grab stuff and do mini quests inside the mission to get more consumable crafts, but the goal is always the same: defend and survive. The further you get into the single player, the more options you have, meaning the more things that you can do. And it gets pretty ridiculous. Suddenly you have like fire traps, because why not? The weird part is that for completing these levels, you get a metric butt ton of resources for crafting, as well as some exclusive blueprints. While playing single player for like 25 hours, I was still struggling to have enough gunpowder to make consistent ammo, but after 3 multiplayer missions, I had a ton. It's pretty evident that they want you to go between the 2 modes, but it's really weird that they didn't make the entire thing like one experience. I think Survive could have been way better if they let you and a friend explore the dust together, but lobbies it is. This mode really shows the strength of the Fox engine though, as you'll be going through quite literally hundreds of dudes with your friends. Then there's more than a few zombie types too. It starts with your basic boys before you're introduced to explodey boys, armored guys, and the whole works. Initially, CQC seems kind of useless, which sounds like heresy for Metal Gear, as all it does is knock guys down, but once you find out it can instantly kill people from behind even stronger mobs, it goes way faster. Even if the CQC animations are ridiculous, like they took the ones from 5 and just sped it up. This seems wrong. It takes a while to get there, but once you've got a lobby filled with a few friends and you're playing some of the more intensive missions, it's not bad. Metal Gear? Absolutely not. It's literally a tower defense game, but it's a decent one. Less fun is the rescue mode, which has you escorting dudes from point A to B while avoiding a giant squid. That's more weird than zombies, I think. This one didn't feel as good, but it doesn't seem like the game thinks that either, because it's hardly ever featured. Besides crafting resources, you also get a damaged version of craftable items, both weapons and armor. These each have customizable variants, so you can go all heavy or all quiet if you like, but 9 out of 10 times your OC's gonna look really stupid anyways. Or hey, maybe you just put on a crocodile hat and call it a day. No judging here. It's so wiggly. Why? But in order to craft a lot of these items, you're gonna need access to proper facilities in the single player mode, so back you go. Which brings me to my next point.
Base building. I love base building. Be it Dark Cloud, Satisfactory, Valheim, or Minecraft. If you put base building in your video game, I'm probably gonna like it. Metal Gear Solid 5 had it to a certain extent, but Survive took it a whole step further.
Oh god, where to begin? In Survive, bases function for multiple reasons: wave survival, resource sustainability, and crafting. As you go through the story, you'll find a few named NPCs before getting quests to unlock randomly generated NPCs to help you function. You assign these dudes to different departments, be it medical, food, development, or even exploration, so you can play a mini Facebook-style waiting game and reap the rewards 24 hours later. The more people you have, the more efficiently things run, the bigger the numbers get. get. For example, you'll run around the open world, find seeds, bring them back, and craft yourself some farms, assign yourself some survivors to it, and they'll take care of that, and then you can grab yourself some carrots every now and then so you won't die. But your base also needs resources, so you can make water tanks and beef up your kitchen so everyone's taken care of. These NPCs can die and have a happiness meter which will influence how well they work. I didn't really have much of an issue with this, and none of my guys died, but once again,
Achas que podia
Survive is
dar
the
uma
king
volta?
of micromanaging in a game.
O que é que tu
Once that's
fazes quando
taken
estás cheio
care
de
of, you
calor?
can find
Dás
blueprints
voltas à
via the
vez?
story or randomly in the world to literally create your base piece by piece. And this is the stuff in games I can get sucked into forever. Every now and then you have to activate the diggers, similar to the ones in multiplayer, and the zombies that attack can permanently destroy your buildings, so you want to make things guarded as well as possible. For me, that meant making several walls and traps on the ground.
So epic.
This game has a count of days you've
so
survived in the
fixe.
menu, so you'll know just how long you've been playing. This does come into a play at a certain point for story reasons, but it doesn't really do much else. Granted, a lot of this isn't very complex and it's kind of surface level, but I was surprised to see a AAA style game go the route of Ark or Rust, especially something Japanese like Metal Gear. You're placing down living quarters, and then some of the need to micromanage your crew
Já
and
fiz e
hunger
tenho
and
aqui mais.
thirst goes away. But unfortunately, you're gonna have to keep track of the oxygen the entire experience, except in multiplayer. All of this culminates in the player feeling way more sustainable and much less afraid of running out into the dust. The first time I went out there, I died twice, and I was like, oh god, what have I signed up for? I definitely
que
wouldn't
jogo
call
disse?
Survive a
Common
good
Rocks?
video game, but it was checkmarking some of those early access survival game cravings I have. Put that in a game that does feel a little bit like Metal Gear in the controls, and you got yourself something. It's for somebody.
But with every
It's
Metal
got
Gear
dioxide.
comes some sort of crazy revelation or over-the-top climax. Well, I'm pleased to say that Metal Gear
15.
Survive tried. Congratulations.
A narrative can take all kinds of crazy twists and turns, but if you don't have a memorable cast of characters, then that all goes down the drain. Since you assume the role of a silent protagonist, you end up experiencing the world through a character named Reeve and sometimes Virgil. Reeve is, like you, another guy who ended up here for some reason, except he's moody and doesn't want to help anyone till the very end of the game. Classic hero character. There's only a handful of named characters you rescue along the way, each of which has the exact same extraction cutscene, I might add. But all of their talking and exchanges happen in the slideshow bits that have an uninteresting interface. Like it's just showing you screenshots while going between characters.
Now that I've seen this, I know I'm right.
Sometimes it'll even have scenes that might have been choreographed, but were cut down to this at the very last second, almost as if budget cuts. The story actually does go to some interesting places as well. You keep hearing about something called the Lord of Dust, which is essentially a giant amalgamation that roams the land and destroys everything in its path. This is the thing controlling the Wanderers. This is the big bad that you have to defeat. It's exactly what good luck, Mr. Discount Lawrence Fishburne here, wants you to do. He has you exploring the
Obrigado.
wasteland in order to find more
Obrigado por dizeres
resources
o nome
and
do
memory
ator.
pods
Eu
containing
estava a
info
passar
on
e não
how to
estava
defeat
tipo.
this beast until you
Não
gather
consigo
enough
lembrar do nome
energy to
dele.
make a big old wormhole getting back home. This unfortunately fails and takes your party to a completely different zone of Dite, one without base building that's an asset flip of Africa from MGS5. Here you'll find Dan and Seth, two survival members
Oh,
of
it's
another
such-
team out in the dust. There's a lot of weird
É o
middling here,
Morpheus?
but basically, it's nanomachines.
É o
It's
Morpheus.
always nanomachines. The zombies,
It's
a creation of
morphing
nanomachines
time.
trying not to die.
Olha.
The Lord of Dust, a huge supergroup of
Eu tenho outro jogo
nanomachines.
super seca
Seth,
para jogar.
a good guy? No. A big bad
Depois do
representation of nanomachines.
No Man's Sky, vamos ter uma experiência ainda melhor.
Take that,
Queres
zombie
adivinhar qual é,
haters?
Watson?
It's the bare minimum. Oh, also there's time travel. Don't ask. The whole plot, and it's one I had to think about a little bit because it's wacky, is one that stacks together time travel and dimension traveling. In this weird dimension of Dite, the
Não.
Lord of Dust is a giant
Mas também é de
nanomachine
Kojima.
creature that loops back in time in order
É uma
to destroy
masterpiece do
things
Kojima.
over and over. And all of this is because of the wormhole
Kobongo.
generator that was introduced in Metal Gear Solid
E tu,
5.
oh.
The entire plot of this game is
You gotta
basically
narrow it
caused
down,
by
man,
the
because they're all
experimentation and ethical
masterpieces.
ramifications of a wormhole device, a silly game mechanic in 5.
He did it again,
That's kinda
baby.
neat, actually. It's a way to explore the
Kojimbo
lore without
can't
getting
miss.
too heavy-handed, deviating from the point, and also keeping
Yeah,
things
that's estranho, vai ser
adjacent.
fixe, meu.
This is why in
Depois de adormecer
GTA
com
and the
este,
Dust, you'll
vais
occasionally
adormecer
have
com
things
este.
drop out of the sky and hit the ground. Like, this entire world is a messed up storage area for the wormhole tests that went wrong. It's totally bonkers and probably would have been a bit cooler if you had a
Sim,
more
tem tudo a ver com os jogos,
action-oriented
nada a ver com a
gameplay.
pessoa que o está a
A twist
jogar.
that
Ok?
you'll barely notice because of the awful screenshot storytelling. You end up rescuing
Nada
a
a ver.
wheelchair-bound child named Chris, sending him through the wormhole to try and rescue
xisa.
everyone else, and surprise, that's
Não
actually
consigo,
good
meu.
luck. Sent him all the
Estou-me
way
a
to
esfregar todo.
1943. So he grows up trying to rescue you. This could have been a cool cutscene, but it wasn't. Oh yeah, the days survived mechanics. At a certain point, it's revealed that the player character is also infected
que este
with
item vai ser
nanomachines,
super
and they
útil.
only have a limited amount of days left to live before they take over and presumably kill you.
Frostfist.
AKA, go beat the big bad before the time expires. The only way to kill the Lord of Dust and beat this game is to harness the power of a broken down Metal Gear Sahelanthropus. You use a couple of digging devices to trap it in place through multiple ways of combat, then you teach the
mais jogos
machine
sei
the
que é que eu
concept
deveria
of death
jogar?
through various Wikipedia pages and blast it right through the face. GG, you saved Dite and got a happy ending. By that I mean everyone is still trapped there with no idea how to get out, and the credits roll. Yay. Or you go for the alternate ending. There's one where you send Chris into the past to try and save your crew, and instead of joining them, you turn around and jump into the portal yourself. Then you're just stuck wandering a desert. It's hinted that your character becomes one of the wandering soldiers you see in the Metal Gear Solid 5 side ops, which is, I guess, a neat little thing. But as far as the story goes, that's it.
I think this could have been a lot better if Konami had put a little more into the cutscenes and like character development. But I think a lot of the issues here come from the blowback from the audience, you know, the people getting mad that the game existed in the first place. On top of that, you have Konami's whole cost-cutting measures, and it's like, okay,
E tu foste uma dessas pessoas que estava
but
mad
that's not
pelo
all
jogo
for Metal Gear
existir?
Survive. It actually has an end game, and I did my best to get as far into it as A, I could stomach, and B, the player count would allow me to.
Though I gotta say, Metal Gear Survive having 10 times the daily player count that Babylon's Fall has over 4 years after its release is comical. After the
Por
final
acaso é
cutscene in
insane.
Survive, it basically throws
O que
the
ele está a dizer
gauntlet
agora
down
é
and says,
insane.
"Aye, we gotta keep building up our bases,
Isso é jogo
digging for
novo.
more energy, and make ourselves a little
Não tem ninguém a
community."
jogar.
The characters basically decided
E
to
jogo-
live
e
instead
jogo
of leave
velho
by saving the world and getting rid of the Lord of Dust,
ninguém
which
gostou,
is weird that
supostamente.
Wanderers still exist, but whatever. Pesky little bisexual nanomachines.
Tem pessoas a jogar.
Unfortunately, Survive looks the same the entire time. Similar to Metal Gear Solid 5, the map lacks a lot of variety in its locations. It's just a lot of desert, or the smaller Africa version of D-Tay, most of the time shrouded in gray. So for the crazy amount of hours that it wants you to play for completion, it's like 2 colors. Pretty when it's not though, but that's rare. Endgame unlocks a few things. First off, daily based defenses. These were story only until now, though it's kind of bizarre that they're on a 24-hour timer. You can only do it once a day. You also get a final memory board that'll unlock subclasses. I know we just mentioned Babylon's Fall, but just like that game, Survive doesn't allow you to get the best gameplay mechanics until after you beat the story. That can take a while, by the way, depending on your skill level. The 4 subclasses are Assault, Jaeger, Medic, and Scout, each of which gives you straight up new abilities to use that should have been unlockable from the start. Like Jaeger lets you have a rain of arrows ability, giving combat a slightly
não jogas
more
Metal
arcadey
Gear?
feel. I was playing Scout when I got this though, as it gave me an active camouflage and the ability to repair buildings so I could keep fences up. But overall, really, it's just a bit more of the same. You're getting more resources to build more things, to do more quests, to eventually fight one of the 2 single-player super bosses, Big Mouth and Frostbite, both of which are going to require a lot of grinding and leveling up to take down. Though in order to make any meaningful and speedy leveling progress, you're going to need to do it in multiplayer. So force a few friends to play or
Joga só o
poke around some
primeiro.
discords, because you're going to need it. We've already talked about the 2 different types of missions, and, well, that's what you get. Both Rescue and Salvage here have easy, normal, hard, and extreme versions that increase the challenges, the types of mobs that spawn, and rewards. It starts pretty normal, but at a certain point you'll have to start dealing with elemental weaknesses and vulnerabilities, so you'll have to bring in specific toolkits. Also, you unlock extreme difficulty at level 69. Nice.
It's like I'm playing TF2 right now for real.
There's some fun little mechanics here, such as being able to use the walker in the middle of waves so you can mow down wanderers real fast. Some of the weapons that you find are real strong, and the skins you unlock are what you'd expect. They just unfortunately got a little greedy. Y'all know about microtransactions. Time to buy some Survive coins. I expected
Oh,
this,
God.
but I wasn't prepared for them to sell a safe slot. Spend about $10 in coins and then sure, kid. The fan reception to this was probably what you would expect. Not a great look for sure. Now there are events they rotate that have cosmetic cosmetics and craftable items that you can spend an event currency on. You can get an outfit of Eva, the boss, or Raiden, but if you want Eva or the boss with a little booby action, that's microtransactions only. You can't make this up. Besides event and weekly missions, that's really about it. Konami had a few events trickle out over the first few months, including one with a Pyramid Head skin and some other Konami-related music tracks and items, but they've essentially been in maintenance mode since late 2018. The latest news we've gotten was a year-end customer inquiry in December of 2021, 3 years after it launched. So like, a big gap of nothing. The salvage game mode itself has a lot of positives going for it, but Konami sure dropped support for this thing faster than Sheamus dropped Daniel Bryan. But hey, make sure to sign up for the premium boost pass so you can get points faster. I considered
People
doing
still
it,
watch
but at a
wrestling?
certain point I had to stop. As far as 100% completion goes, Metal Gear Survive is incredibly tedious. I had originally considered playing this on the PS4 so I could go for the Platinum Trophy like I've done with all the other games we've done here, but this game was listed at a bare minimum 200 hours. To do this, you have to fully explore every map, which is rougher than you think. Anytime you're in the dust, you don't appear on the minimap unless you've got a tower placed down or you're standing next to a road, so there's a lot of running around aimlessly. Then you've also got to kill 300 enemies with every single weapon type in the game, grind up and beat the 2 super bosses, recruit 30 individual crew members, and oh yeah, eat and cook every type of food and collect every weapon and piece of gear in the game. Needless to say, I decided not to do that. But considering it's a sheer grind that doesn't unlock anything meaningful or new, I think that's okay. So if you're sitting there saying I didn't beat Metal Gear Survive because I didn't cook every animal in the game, well, checkmate on me. Time to punch more zebras.
You know, sometimes the internet is filled with profound and nuanced takes on things, especially with video games. But in the case of Metal Gear Survive, I think things have been maybe a little extreme. Steam says I've got about 50 hours into this, which isn't a whole lot, but it was a lot of me just exploring and doing, like, quests that weren't randomly generated until I couldn't do it anymore, but also I think there's a couple things to like here. It's definitely soulless and does reek of money grubbing here and there, but they decided to do that with probably the least safe game possible.
In a game that's mostly negative or mid, I found this way more enjoyable than Babylon's Fall and even Balan Wonderworld. Kakarot's still the best, obviously, but only this game has playable music from Boktai and Castlevania. You can collect cassette tapes throughout the world and broadcast them around your base area, which makes hanging relaxing. I cheap pop, I know, but if you put Vampire Killer in my ears, then I'm good to go. I actually enjoy the slow crawl through the wasteland. Once the Lord of Dust starts appearing in your world, you'll occasionally run into this thing on the map, and it's terrifying every time. What a lot of people probably see as tedious with the survival mechanics I saw was deliberate and, well, the challenge. There's a popular PC mod that actually turns off the hunger and thirst mechanics, but not for me. It could be the JRPG menu navigating nerd in me, but I didn't mind having the micromanaged status effects the entire time. I actually enjoyed the challenge of, well, trying to stay alive. I could also see why people wouldn't. This is small, but I love how the mission complete loot works. You sit there after finishing a dig, and then down from the heavens, or the wormholes, comes a couple of color-coded cardboard boxes that give you supplies. It's silly, but it makes me laugh. Also, did you know there were cars in this game? Walkers, sure, but like, I drove a vehicle at one point, and it gave me a tutorial, and then I never found one again. I talked to multiple people who never found one, so hey, lucky me. This game definitely has very specific expectations of the player, though. If you're too good at wave survival and setting up dubs, there will be moments where nothing's happening for like 20 to 40 seconds. That does give you enough time to try to like recoup some resources, like arrows from corpses, so there is that. Most of Survive's challenges build around the loop of gathering supplies to set up a heist, essentially, which then becomes integrated into the stealth gameplay. But it can chaotically shift between stealth and Rambo at a moment's notice, and the AI is ruthless, and that's why they made the revival pills. Is this a good Metal Gear game? No, absolutely not. But I don't think it's a bad video game, and that's really my main point. If you try to divorce the concept away from Metal Gear and simply look at it as a survival game from Konami in the same engine, things look a lot better. It's just really hard not to view how that company treated Koji Pro in the last few years of its existence, with the crappy work conditions and the outspoken press against it. It's definitely got a lot of flaws inherent in the design, and the cons do outweigh the negatives, but like, well, it's not a very glitchy game. It held steady about 95% of the time I was playing until the Steam servers went down, logging me out and making me replay like 40 minutes. Thanks Steam Summer Sale, it ruined my afternoon. Despite all the negative press, the huge outpouring against it, and even a lack of things to do in the end game, it is amazing to me that this game still manages to have more than 100 people playing on Steam alone on a daily basis. Truly, this game must have captivated some people, and I can see why. It's really freaking weird, and combining the Metal Gear style of movement, CQC, and hijinks into a survival-style game really is a no-brainer. It just happened under not great conditions.
So, what's the aftermath? Metal Gear Survive got its 15 minutes of fame at a budget price, and by fame I mean hate, before quickly disappearing from the ears of all gamers, and that was pretty much it. It became a laughingstock, frequented worsts of 2018 lists all over the place, and while I kind of disagree when you got games like The Quiet Man out there, I can totally understand why people would feel that way.
Is anything happening in the world of Metal Gear? No, not really. The official Twitter account retweets art and posts about anniversaries here and there. We're currently in the 35th anniversary of the franchise, and the most we're getting seems to be re-upping ports of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 due to licensing rights. And that's really a shame. Fans of Metal Gear should be eating, or getting some modern ports to play on, well, any modern platform, but here we are. It's 2022 and Konami refuses to do anything with most of their incredible IPs. What a shocker. We'll get a new Suikoden, Rocket Knight, Contra, Metal Gear, Goemon, Silent Hill, Castlevania, or Gradius one day. Am I right, guys? If I were to give Metal Gear Survive an arbitrary score, it'd have to be two separate ones. As a Metal Gear game with all of the expectations that has, it's a 5. It's totally mid in just about every way. It's probably the worst Metal Gear game. It has a few elements of the series, but it really lacks a lot of that character. The microtransactions are overly greedy, but aren't intrusive in the single-player game experience, which is unique. You're probably not going to have a second character unless you're a fanatic for the multiplayer like those 60 people online right now. As a video game experience on its own, mostly propped up as a Fox Engine shenanigans simulator, I think it's like a 6.5 or something. It has moments that are genuinely fun. Setting up a death trap dungeon to make a meat grinder out of zombies is a good time. Barely surviving a trip to the dust is exhilarating, and a few stealth heavy moments are genuinely exciting, even at the CQC has initial D speeds. But if you were to ask me this simple question, should I play Metal Gear Survive? My answer is only if you're a freak like me. Just don't go for the platinum, you'll hate yourself.
And there you have it, Metal Gear Survive 2 in the bag. It's kind of funny to think that I started playing this game in June, finished it in June, and now we're almost in August, but, you know, sometimes it takes a while to get the brain moving and everything. But I can say, Babylon's Fall made me stop playing video games for a week, and Survive didn't, which is about as much praise as I can give it. Speaking of, anyone playing Season 2? Doing okay? I would love for Konami to try and make more Metal Gear games. I think with, you know, a couple of management changes, some fresh talent in there, and maybe a couple of apologies, they could really do some good things. They recently put out this weird indie PC game called Crime Site, which is like an anime social deduction game that I haven't tried, but it seems like people enjoy. What I'm saying is, Konami, you got IPs, please use them. I will say though, considering Metal Gear Survive is online only, that at some point, probably sooner rather than later, it's gonna get shut down, just like Metal Gear Online before it. So if you are one of those freaks, you should probably hop on it while you still can. Anyways, that's all I got for today. As always, I've been Austin, and that was Metal Gear Survive Beaten, so you don't have to. I've got another video coming out next week, and I like to do a little tease here and there, but I figured why not tease something a little bit further out. It's not next or next, or maybe not even next month, but join me soon when I play and beat every Marvel MCU Sega video game.
Oh god.
Every single one. Okay, bye.
Thank you all so much for watching. Special Patreon shout out to Blackfoot Ferret, Chris Shelton, Christopher Oliva,
Ui,
Darren
olha,
Newton,
pronto.
Doug Prince, DX
Lá vai o
Buster,
Austin
David
ser
Molnar,
cancelado
Elijah,
no-
GM Pinks, Hey
no
Quiggles,
Twitter.
Jay Roos, Jacoby Fitzpatrick, Kevin Zanowski, Kieran Arter, Nick Irving, P-Funk, Ryan Talbert, and Shazan. Thank you all so much for your generous support. And there you go, Metal Gear Survive in the bag, in your inboxes. I can now uninstall the game and free up some hard drive space. This one did take a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take, as you can tell by the size of the video and just how much I had to go into it. But I'm really happy with the final thing. I think it's a really interesting piece of history. It's going to be history soon. I feel it. I'm a sleepy man, so I'm going to go take a nap. Maybe you should too. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Good night.
I should take a nap. Que horas são? Ih! Make a move. Teu, neu, 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 neu. Tan, 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 tan. Como é que se chama aquela música mesmo fixe? Está aqui este que eu quero. Tenho saudades de 2017, por aí. Era ouvir isto em loop o dia todo. E vocês? Estás a exagerar? Exageras sempre. Sim, estou a exagerar. Exato. Fuck where you from? Into the fire. I kinda want sodium, but what I really want. Peraí. Eu já não tenho. Eu quero. Fuck where you from? É só sódio, cara. E está fechado? Não dá para abrir? Pão, 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 pão. What's happening here? What is this? Eu já estive aqui? Já estive aqui a esburacar isto? Ah, não. Se calhar também já estive ali a esburacar aqui. Espera aí. Estes sempre nunca vão voltar, Watson. Como é que eu lido com isso? Como é que... Qual é a palavra? Grieve, mas em português. Como é que se diz? I am the Lord of Hellfire. Exato, como é que eu faço o luto por estes tempos? Não sabes? Como é que fazes luto de coisas, tu? E agora vais-me dizer, eu não faço, eu tenho problemas. E eu, xiça. Agora como é que fazemos para... Ué, sai da frente, pá. Fuck. Então temos que resolver os nossos problemas. Quando o teu patrão te diz assim, tenho um problema que pode ser resolvido
com programação.
O que é que tu fazes? Respondes.
Eu vou resolver o seu problema através da programação.
Ao que ele responde.
Ainda bem, sem pago-te com dinheiro.
E depois na vida real podes fazer o mesmo, só que não podes. Às tantas não é com programação. Resolve-se de outras maneiras, não é?
Dá-me a cabeça, como é que resolve este problema?
Olha, vai tomar um Benuron. Fuck where you from, fuck where you going, it's all about where you're at. E acabou. Não. E é assim, acabou. Tão abrupto. Tal como a minha felicidade. Assim, do nada. Um dia estava a jogar Game Boy, o jogo do Mickey, e no outro dia de repente, puf, foi-se tudo. Fuck where you from, fuck where you going. Olha, eu tenho playlists. Vou procurar playlists da minha Dunk OST. Eu acho que fiz esta playlist para em... Isto tem uma data? Last updated on 2020. What the fuck did I... Oh man. A primeira música é a que acabamos de ouvir. Olha para isto, meu. Olha o passado. What? O António Costa aparece aqui. Ela! A cena do mashup com o What é tão perfeito. How? Who's the genius? Yeah. Bom dia, toga vicioido. Ouvi dizer que esta música é proibida, assim. I don't care. Esta música faz-me pensar no Leafy. O Leafy não era tipo o Devil Incarnate no YouTube. Most hated guy. Most toxic ever made. Eu acho que quando cheguei aos lowest na minha vida foi quando eu via Leafy todos os dias. Não por causa do Leafy. Eu não estava no lowest porque via o Leafy, eu via o Leafy porque estava no lowest, ok? Ass with me, shake that ass with me, come on girl. Come on girl, come on. Olha, será que esta música está no Spotify? Eu digo porquê. O que é que achas de meter... Watson, o que é que achas de meter esta música no Spotify? Não, desculpa. Como é que eu digo isto? No Tinder podes pôr músicas do Spotify. O que é que achas de meter só esta?
Apple bottom jeans and a big old smile. They act retarded. Some girls are
E depois para Profile Pic pões, sei lá, o Giga Shadow assim. E mimos mesmo podres, tipo. Virgin Incel versus. I don't know. Tudo que dê trigger. Come on, girl. Flupai. Vou ser honesto, já não lembro porque é que criou Dioxide. Yeah! Dioxide is CO2? Really? Ok, o que é que será que vai sair a seguir? Eu já não me lembro, mas era... Isto é tipo uma cápsula do tempo. Ia, maninho! Throwback para Noé, só se falar de Drake o dia todo. O Ian estava mais fixado no Drake do que o Drake estava fixado no Drake. O que é um feito. That's a fucking achievement. Kanye same, right? Hey, what's that shit? Frozen tubers. Big Badonk, Kalanina. Who doesn't love Nintendo? Am I right? Who doesn't? Tô sim? Mandar uma mensagem à Catarina que eu acho que vai ser uma mensagem difícil, ok? Mas vou mandar na mesma. Ok, que mais? Eu queria olhar para o telemóvel para fazer qualquer coisa, real quick. Onde é que está o WhatsApp? Eu tenho uma aplicação que é o WhatsApp. Ah, está aqui. Eu escrevi a letra desta música num caderno. Shut the fuck up. Será que vou ser banido por ouvir isto? Sou eu, WhatsApp, a aplicação do Watson.
Shut the fuck up. Stop being a fucking cunt. Shut the fuck
Man,
up.
Pink Guy traz-me nostalgia de passar tempo com o Frias, com o X, ir a Smash Fest com esse pessoal, fazer TO a esses eventos.
I just wanna let you know you're a stupid fucking cunt. Go ahead and run your mouth. Pussy.
Isto é mesmo música de puto estúpido e eu adoro. Eu sou um puto estúpido. Quando digo puto estúpido é tipo aquele puto com 13 anos está sempre que é completamente insuportável.
You're a fucking penis hole. Grab a dick and eat it whole. I need to know if you were dropped when you were just a fetus though. You're so fucking ugly and your face is fucking foul. Jeez, you're so fucking loud. Can you shut your fucking mouth? Can you shut the fuck up? You're a fucking cunt. Shut the fuck up.
Bunga bunga bunga
You're
bunga
a stupid cunt. Suck my dick.
Cala a boca! Ei, bora fazer isto em. Traduzir isto para português.
Stop being a fucking cunt. Shut the fuck up.
Eu acho que traduzir para português ficava brutal, vou ser honesto.
Nobody even wants you here. Yeah. Close your fucking mouth.
Ficava mesmo fixe.
Fucking dance. If you hate me while you talking, you don't make no fucking sense. Gotta
Cala a
sound like
boca.
sad life. Go to fucking hell. Are you stupid or disabled, man? I can't fucking tell. You're a fucking dumb shit. You don't even run shit. Get the fuck up out my face and go to hell and eat a dick. Come and catch these hands, boy. Come and match these bands, boy. I'm not crazy, I just do it all because I can, boy. I hope you fucking die in a high-speed car crash. I hope you fucking fall head first and get your neck cracked. I hope you have some beautiful children that die from cancer. I hope you catch Zika when your wife gets pregnant. I hope you win the lottery and die the next day, and your daughter has to see you getting lowered in your grave. Like, that was a little dark. that was a little dark. Very poor taste. Shut the fuck up. I shouldn't have said that. You're a fucking
Man, I love this guy.
Actually, no, I should have. Shut the fuck up. I didn't say enough.
I didn't say enough.
You're a stupid cunt. Suck my dick. Shut the fuck up. Stop being a fucking cunt. Shut the fuck up.
O que é que vocês fazem para regular as vossas emoções?
Nobody
Estou a pensar nesta
even
música
wants
e
you
parece uma
here.
coisa mesmo boa para um gajo tipo. Quando está irritado com coisas. Quando estás super irritado com coisas tipo. Oh, you know what? Vou cantar esta música. Vou imaginar o. Vou imaginar um target e cantar esta música. Será que vou ser banido do Twitch? Isto é um mashup. Mas o DMCA deve DMCAR, não? Como é que está a minha nave? Se eu chamar a minha nave. Estou fodido. Eu acho que posso fazer. Create flatten. Okay. Biatch. Eu quero usar esta coisa para fazer base building and shit. Para fazer o Minecraft, não é? Desculpem, eu não sou nada Minecrafter. Vocês é que são, não é? Oh Watson, tu jogaste Minecraft? Não é? Ou ainda jogas, não é? Where are you at? Pronto, tu sendo Minecrafter, eu não estou formatado para Minecrafting. Talvez este jogo me ajude se eu pensar muito no base building e tal. O título que eu tenho hoje, eu não estou a seguir, mas é o que eu queria ter feito. Aliás, tem um plano novo que é, quero arranjar um planeta qualquer e começar lá uma base e a base está toda organizadinha e toda gira. Depois tem animaizinhos lá, quero ter um gado lá, quero ter plantas, quero fazer coisas com resources. Like getting a big road all fucking night. Minecraft. Mas yeah, eu não sou um survivor kind of guy. Cyclotron. Oh, é isto que eu agora posso fazer, é uma weapon nova. Foi isto que eu vim fazer este planeta, ok? Isto não foi só mindless. É sempre mindless. That's the point of these games, to just go. But this time I wanted a weapon. Como é óbvio, isto é um mashup. O que é que será que vai ser o mashup, Watson? Consegues adivinhar? Eu nem lembro deste mashup ser assim tão fixe quanto isso. Mas o Togado a apreciar. I mean, it's cool. Ok, já me estou a lembrar porque é que guardei esta. It's pretty cool. Eu estou mortinho por experimentar isto em batalhas. É suposto começares com esta, para foder os shields. A descrição diz que é um mata-shields. Anyway, log. Everything is fine. Live and learn. Live and learn. Oh, não sabia que tinha. Oh, man, eu tinha sentinels atrás de mim. Que bosta, cara. Tá vendo aí, cara? E aí, ok, deixa eu ver. Outras. High Sentinel Activity. Quão doido é que seria se eles tivessem feito um mashup de género? Nesta parte era um solo de Crush 40. Seria insane. Phosphorus? I think I need phosphorus. Bibi apreende! Bibi apreende! Olha, estás a ver este planeta? Está super vulcânico. Será que é que o caso ia estar? Percebeste a piada? Oh, afinal era uma boa notícia, eu estava a achar estranho a Catarina não dizer nada.
No, I'm not in the mood. Oh my god. Let's go back the other way.
Top that! Olha, sabes que eu na faculdade, eu e os meus amigos, esta música era tipo o Happy Place. Sempre que estávamos tristes usávamos isto para recuperar. Não era a música, era o clipe todo, claro. Olha para eles! I love these guys. Sempre que alguém diz que white men are fucking terrible e não sei o quê, eu tenho que me lembrar deste clipe, não é? Para fazer sentido. Eu acho que este clipe é o início do Twitter atual. Foi aqui que começou.
Top that.
What the heck?
They left me in a world of darkness without your sexy hands, and I miss you, Nightman, so bad. Extreme night temperature detected. Demon, fighter of the Nightman, champion of the sun. You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone.
Eu conheci esta cena por causa de um boss que eu tive. Nightman, Dayman. Always Sunny é uma comédia tão estranha, é tão bizarro. I can't. I wish I could sing this, but I can't. Master of Karate. I want to be a master of karate and friendship to everyone. Olha que giro. I want to be a champion of the sun too. Tenho toda a inveja. Oh não. Guys, I miss this guy so much.
Well, technically,
I miss him so much.
Nah.
Have you ever tried a disguise?
Nah.
All right. I can see that I will have to teach you how to be villains. Now listen closely. Here's a little lesson in trickery. This is going down in history. If you wanna be a villain #1, you have to chase a superhero on the run. Just follow my moves and sneak around. Be careful not to make a sound. No, don't touch that. Now look at this net that I just found. When I say go, be ready to throw. Go! Throw it at him, not me! Oh, let's try something else. Now watch and learn. Here's the deal. You slip and slide from this banana peel. What are you doing? We are #1.
Wow.
This is illegal, you know.
Epa! Este homem é um homem. Isto é tão ridículo. Será que vou ser banido? O que é que eu vim fazer este planeta? Este planeta azul? Vim matar sentinelas. Vim matar as sentinelas. Vim matar as sentinelas. Eu antes tinha um... Está aqui. Fósforo. E por falar em fósforo, preciso de fósforo. Este planeta tem fósforo. Planeta azul. Planeta azul. Planeta azul, planeta azul, ei. Planeta azul, planeta azul, ei. Planeta azul, planeta azul, ei. Planeta azul, ei, 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 ei. Bora fazer como o Ethan, tirar também a t-shirt, tirar aqui. This Ethan, ele pode ter Ele pode ter 0.00001 de QI, mas... It's funny. He was funny, at least. Made some really cool videos. Anyway. Makes me want to die. Isto é a minha Happy Place playlist, já percebi. Can you feel the Xuxa? Brighten up your day. Need to run away. Quando é que eu meto esta música em loop enquanto conduzo a 200 na autostrada? É estúpido não fazer isso. Eu queria gritar, mas é de noite. Can you feel it? Eu devia fazer isto, mano. Se eu tiver visitas, tenho que meter esta música, por exemplo. Não só esta, mas... Can you feel it? Can you feel it? This is my friend. Olha, para de decorar o gajo, meu. Olha cá, palhaço. Can you feel the sugar? Can you feel it? Eu estou bem dos cornos, ok? Eu estou bem dos cornos. Keyword, cornos. Cornos, como dizem os ingleses. Ah, então. É de mim ou estou a falecer? É impressão minha, não é? Objective compris. Retorno da mission agente. Agente Bobó. Agente Bobó. Ok. Thank you. Obrigado, Bruno, do passado. Very cool. Oh man, that's pretty good. Extremo damage. Espera aí. Eu devia... Yeah. Este hit 5 whatever é muito bom. O que é que ele diz? Buried. Está certo. Feliz Navidade. Feliz Navidade. Ah, eu quero fósforo. Eu tenho fósforo. Uou. Alguém chama o Toga? Não sabia que isto também era para ele. Eu nem sequer me lembro de... Nunca ninguém vai saber o que é isto. Oh Watson, ainda estou a sair. Só os terminally online é que sabem que se poderiam ver. Why? Why am I like this? Ui, vou morrer no jogo? Espera aí. Am I gonna die in the video game? Claro. I think so. Eu vou gastar o fósforo todo. Dun, dun, dun. I play Pokemon Go every day. I play Pokemon Go. Man, essa música é tão relatable. Esse jogo era muito cool de se jogar. Especialmente na altura em que eu andava de comboio, não é? Fora disso, caguei. Ai, o que é esta crinjalhada? What did I do? Yes! I love me. Gonna see a princess, everything's alright. Oh, no job, but I answer to ain't a picture in the palace zoo. Estás a ver quando olhas para ti mesmo no passado e pensas, foda-se, que orgulho. I'm Han Solo. Man. When the push comes to shove, you know, stuff.
Now I'm feeling how I should join the alliance and it feels so good. Oh, stop feeling misunderstood. Back in the game, who knew I would?
Ora bem.
So fly time I spread my wings. Loving myself makes me want to
Se bem que faz.
Told me get my act together. Now I got my act together. Yeah. Now I'm feeling through the weather. Better days are gonna get better. I'm so happy that it's
Gosto em secundário e fósforo. Nesta coisa. Yeah.
Alright then, that leaves one last game, one final piece to possibly redeem this heap of lost potential.
I love John Tron. My favorite bassist. Bassist.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah!
I miss him so much. He also died. Acho que estou a gastar mais do que estou a farmar. It's a nearby system. Já viste que a música do Racist Bassist, já viste? Não é música, o meme. É sobre o John Tron, já viste? Epá, que cena. Nunca tinha pensado nisso até agora. It's actually insane. Bem, não me digas, isto é só uma música? Just some random music? A verdade é que era o que se ouvia na altura, não é? Obrigado, Michael. Eu não quero esperar nada. No more memes? No. I can't accept 2 hours synthwave. What is this? This is no longer my I'm Han Solo e é do Silva Gunner. Obrigado, Silva Gunner. O que é que o Silva Gunner anda a fazer hoje em dia? Sei que o Gil Vassander. Sei que o Gil Vassander foi que caralho, não é? Tadinho. Ei, está super ativo, meu. Isto tem um botão de play all ou assim? Está aqui, play all. Ai ai. Guess the mashup. I don't know what it is. Ai que eu deixei coisas a meio. Isto é Pokémon. Pois. O que é que eu estou aqui a fazer? O que é que me vai acontecer? Olha um bichinho pequenino. É um mini Pokémon. Olha, não é, mas gostava que fosse. Vou ser honesto. Tchim. Ora bem, eu tenho que dar o fucking Basalini deste planeta, meu. Ditch this shitty play. Oh. Pokémon Monster. Diamundo. Vais indo para a caminha? Está-se bem. Eu não acredito que, não estás, que estás a ir para a cama sem eu te dar um beijinho na testa, meu. Parece-me bastante inadmissível, mas pronto, esta vez passa. Está-se bem. Recebeste aí em casa? Olá, Maria. Então do que é que vamos falar hoje, Maria? Vamos falar mais de política? Agora que o Watson está a ir embora, acho que podemos falar de política à vontade. Estou a brincar, é só uma piada. É só para dar bait e ele ficar mais tempo. Oi? Olá! Podemos falar. Ui, quando uma rapariga te diz temos que falar, temos que... Estou a brincar, estou só a brincar contigo, ok? Mandei-te uma mensagem muito triste para o Insta. Fiquei mesmo triste. Falar em estar triste, a Catarina acabou de me contar para aí 10 coisas tristes, mas tudo de rajada, tudo seguido. Portanto, nem sei como é que... Olha, é lidar. É lidar. Espera aí que eu já vou ver o telemóvel, ok? Bugu bagabu. Oh não! Mas eu gosto tanto de ir lá e tudo mais. Alta suficiente a ver. Oh meu Deus. Oh meu Deus. Ai, como é que eu lido? Eu não recebi mensagem. Olha, eu mandei uma mensagem a alguém no WhatsApp. O que é que eu ia dizer? Mensagem WhatsApp. E depois pensei, que cena, não me responderam. E depois fui abrir a app e estava lá respostas. Eu, como assim? Não recebi tipo notificações? Já chega de estar neste planeta. Volta e meia cocó. Achas que ele falha? Estava lá a mensagem. E foi de manhã. Eu só abri há bocado porque fiquei a pensar, que estranho. Estás a ver? Isto vai ser o Eiro. É o que eu digo a mim mesmo quando elas me dão ghost. O quê? O que é que eu disse? Dizes que achas estranho? Bem, se ficaste triste com a senhora, é melhor não te contar o que aconteceu. Mas também não vou dizer aqui. Sei lá. Seja como for, não ias gostar. Deixa eu ver. Acho que sim, quero ir à Space Station. Ai, culpas do WhatsApp. Ok, mas desta vez, olha, desta vez foi o dia todo sem receber a mensagem. Não, eu recebi a mensagem de manhã e só vi à noite. One microprocessor. Gratitude. That's cool. I helped the guy. A Catarina, sim, a Catarina provavelmente é a única que está bem, não é? Tudo à volta está complicado. Refuse. Claro. Claro que é refuse. Isto vai ser tipo Sonic com Mario Kart. Espera que eu tenho já lhes fodi a boca. Olha, aconteceu muitas coisas, mas uma delas... Vou dizer só uma delas, pode ser? Parece que a gata caiu-lhe da janela abaixo também. E vai ser operada amanhã. É só uma das coisas, ok? Só isso bastaria, certo? Para estás em stress. Não me apetece andar mais por este... Depois eu devia começar a fazer a base. Settlement. Depois posso ver aqui.
A man by the name of Notch had an idea. A cave game. A sandbox. Seemingly endless. An adventure that had everyone saying, just one more block. This man, that game, those blocks have brought all of you here to celebrate what has become Minecraft. What the hell? What am I listening to?
It's the Minecraft game, man. You know, Minecraft from Minecraft.
Well, this is awful. Come on, man, turn it off. Right. Well, there's the start of Minecraft rips on Siva Gunner. Quite humble beginnings, and it's a far cry from what we've accomplished today. Well, before I show you that, I need to explain how we got here. There we go. 2 months after the original rip, another version of the Minecraft main theme was uploaded, featuring an infamous inspector and reviewer duo.
Actually, Inspector Gadget was the reviewer.
You can shut up now. In 2017, a clone of Inspector Gadget took over Siva Gunner, permanently connecting Minecraft's representation of the channel to Mike Matei's classic skit. It also kicked off the Boss series of rips, original remixes of the Inspector Gadget theme, and other memes presented.
Why remove? I don't want to remove, I want to help.
Minecraft with Gadget would continue to be popular
they're
across
waiting,
the following year, while rips of Minecraft were mostly used for mashups or as a guise for something completely different. Sometimes Minecraft music wouldn't even be part of the rip at all. Nonetheless, the game's culture was still referenced in other rips through creative use of Minecraft parodies, like 2019's
Bem-vinda de volta. Obrigado pela companhia. Como é que foi o teu dia?
An original Minecraft parody of Doing Your Mom. Minecraft also made 2 appearances during 2019's King for Another Day event, with the arrangements being a reggaeton take on Minecraft with Gadget and a more forgotten piece of Minecraft's soundtrack.
Tenho que encontrar um planeta.
The game's horizons on the channel continued to
Que seja
broaden
shield
as
para fazer
different
uma
types
base
of
lá.
arrangements and melody swaps would be created more often as Siva Gunner entered 2020. 2020 and 2021
Isso que.
especially
Maria,
saw the release
e se eu abrisse o catálogo
edited into the most
de planetas onde eu já fui e encontrasse um que fosse shield? O que é que achas?
But Minecraft's reach on the channel didn't stop at the base game. Rips of spin-offs like Minecraft Story Mode or mods like the iconic Twilight Forest mod supplanted what was expected from Minecraft rips.
O calor também me afetou bastante hoje. A produtividade, sim.
Sometimes for the worse. At this
Portanto, estamos juntos, não foste só tu.
clearly very appreciated on Siva Gunner, and for good reason. The free sandbox exploration nature of Minecraft gives every player near endless possibilities for creativity, in a similar way that Siva Gunner offers near endless possibilities with their rips. Want to make a gigantic castle built into the ocean? Go for it. Want to put the Flintstones theme into a Super Mario 64 track? Not sure why you would do that, because that's ridiculous, but you can. These two are practically the same in ideology, which could be why Minecraft became so popular on the channel. People love creativity, and the Minecraft rips, no matter what their contents are some of the most creative uploads on the channel. How could you possibly honor the game further? By going back to its musical roots, we've created a new type of Siva Gunner album that arranges every track from the original volume Alpha
Parece que
and
dormimos o sono,
beta
não.
soundtracks one to one,
Não faz o que tem a fazer.
even the weird ones. Hopefully
Pois,
this
não
will
sei.
serve as an appropriate tribute to the biggest game of all time.
Eu não dormi o
And after
suficiente,
this,
mas também
the future of
atribuo mais a culpa a mim,
Minecraft
portanto,
Siva Gunner
aí
is
se calhar tenho mais
open-ended as its infinite worlds. I
privilégio.
can't wait to see what comes next.
Oh my god, is this guy getting paid to spiel all this?
I told you to shut up, but you didn't listen. Oh, look, a free album.
Hey Jude, olá. A minha cadela está a surfar toda. Deixa eu ver. Deixa-me só ver como é que está a cadela. Como é que estás hoje, Watson? Watson, foda-se, Aleph, estás mais tranquilo? Vou só ali com a cadela. Cansado porque estás direta? Porquê direta? O que é que aconteceu? Ui, o que? Os nervos por causa da velhota? Epá, vou pôr num balanced, I guess. Apesar de não serem. Esta Science. Pois, a Science Vessel parece não valer um chavalini. Eu não posso meter numa balance. Pelo menos o meu plano é metê-la sozinha. Eu preciso de montes de tones. Compra. Tu compra tudo. O que é um cryopump? Ok. 200 tonnes. Spore Hero Arena? What? Ok, vamos tentar Voyage. Vamos ver se o gajo sobrevive. Acho que a última correu mal, mas... Combat Patrol, 3 estrelas. Combat. Talvez sobrevive. I gotta trade one. Há de aguentar, não é? Não, que caralho. E por fim, a Balance Level 1 talvez. Mas estes gajos são muito experienced. Ainda assim, que se foda, vai. Ainda tenho. Já não tenho ninguém, pois não? Bem, já não lembro o que é que andei a fazer nesta. Nesta aventura. Ah, quero escolher um planeta. Será que é isso que eu devia fazer? Ok, eu neste settlement not sure, mas acho que não tenho nada para fazer. Parece-me ter muito mais produtividade. Uma hora e 33. Diga 33. Oi, filho da puta, o Minotauro destruiu uma coisa. Vamos, querem escolher um planeta comigo, juntos? Eu e vocês? Tem que ser noutro... Está a pensar. Se calhar noutra galáxia, só para eu poder... passear. Pá, se calhar um planeta chill, não sei. Isto diz o tipo de planeta, certo? Weather. Corrosive cyclones. Se calhar não é bem isso que eu quero, não é? Conflict level high, se calhar não, também. Eu só fui a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sistemas. Peaceful. Este diz peaceful. E só fui a um planeta. Estou a ser um palhaço. Devia ter ido a mais. Unknown Planet. Podia vir ver este. Ver o que é que se passa neste. Isto tem uma base. Desculpa, tem uma space. Whatever. O Vorki Rab. Vamos ao Vorki Rab. Vamos aos rabos. O Vorki Rabo, está aqui. Vamos ao rabo. Tau. É um vídeo. E esta música há de ser um mashup do Wind Waker com outra coisa qualquer que eu não sei o que é. Quero ficar por este. Quero montar uma base alguns neste sistema. O que é que acham? Vai ser a minha tentativa de Minecraft. Se calhar não vai correr lá muito bem. Há 1h30 não quero estar acordada. Yeah. High Radio Source Planet. Radio Source? Radio? Radio Source? What does that mean? Será que tenho gajos para recrutar aqui? Also, nunca mais fiz dinheiro. Gamma Root. Ah, ok. Então isto quer dizer que isto é um planeta radioativo. That would be kind of fucked up. Maybe not the best one to make do. Exploration Specialist. Quantas estrelas é que ele tem? Dá para ver? Seja como for, eu acho que quero um Exploration Specialist. Quanto é que me está a custar? Demasiado? Exploration A-Class. Este é que devia ter ido, meu. Que se foda, pagava. É o dobro, mas... Robot Crew, mas não, já não vou. Que me sirva de lição. Onde é que eles estão? Pronto, aqui um. Foste para a caminha, fizeste tudo muito bem. Devia fazer o mesmo. Gajo sem experiência nenhuma, é um suporte. E este gajo, quer negócio? E aí, é Miss Metroid. These are all explorers? Isto são os tais cheios de experiência. Devia ter ido para eles mesmo. Windswept Planet. O que é que isto diz no logo? Não. Sim, está certo no logo. Nunca entrei no planeta. Tenho que entrar no planeta? Moon of Yak. Se fizesse uma base na Lua, vocês acham que seria épico? Está bastante glitchy. Incomoda-me bastante se fosse fazer, ou incomodar-me-ia bastante fazer uma base num planeta com bogs. Peço desculpa, não quero ser racista para bogs, mas... Não quero ser boxista, mas... Por um lado acho que devia ir para a cama, por outro gostava de sentir uma espécie de achievement, ou seja, deixa eu ver o que é que isto é, Cobalt. Gostava de começar a base, só começar, e já estava contente. E desta vez dou-lhe mesmo um nome. Chamava-lhe tipo, I don't know, é naquela base, o que é que acham? Eu sei, I'm sorry. Ok, vou sair desta lua. Acho que esta lua não tem história para contar. Hi Sentinel. Não me está a cheirar um planeta que seja chill. E lá? O que acham deste planeta? Eu não estou a sentir, mas se vocês estiverem a sentir, olha. Leve, se é para abusar, quer-se dizer. Para isto já basta de todas as outras pessoas que estão na minha vida. Nanitos. This one sucks. Se não tenho bicho, Maria, um dos propósitos de fazer a base é ter gado, supostamente dá para ter gado. Posso ter bichinhos lá. Olha, teria que ser um planeta se calhar com bichinhos fixos, não sei. Não faço a mínima, Maria. É isso que eu vou descobrir. É isso que eu quero descobrir, não é? A curiosidade matou o homem. Espera, não sei se é bem assim. Ui, estão aqui bichos maus. E já vem atrás de mim. Espera aí, não me des a coordenada. Primeiro deixa-me fazer um escaneamento. Este não gosta de mim, Maria. Kill or be killed. Caramba, o jogo fica todo contente. Parabéns, mataste um verdadeiro. E supostamente podes sacar o leitinho de alguns bichos, não é? Não estou a brincar, by the way. Mas tens um milk, não é milk, mas é whatever. Extractor e um feeder, que é para teres os bichinhos num espaço. E teres as máquinas a tratar deles. Oi? Mas não estou a sentir a onda deste planeta. Acho que está na hora. Ai não. É este que eu quero. Não, não é este que eu quero. Então, espera aí. Falta-me ver esta lua e este planeta. Se calhar vai ser o último. Eu estou a sentir que este último vai ser... vai-me interessar. Problema. Não sei onde é que ele está. Oi, Rhythm Heaven? Estou a ficar deprimido porque não sei onde é que está o jogo. Zepho Major, Poisonous Planet. I'm not so sure this is going to be... Acho que ainda não vou encontrar um planeta para mim. Para já acho que vou dar base. Tentar fechar o loop. Anyway, Silva Gunner, obrigado. Tenho que encontrar um planeta. Um planeta azul. O planeta Terra, era fixe. Foi nesse stream, obrigado. O que importa é que faça bem. I don't know. Beijinhos, durmam bem. Be careful. Don't you try to be a hero.